Miscommunication in the workplace. Let's face it, we all have problems in the workplace, and all of our problems aren't the same as other people's. Well, my specific problem is miscommunication. In the field that I work in, real estate and property management, it is very important that information be passed on to other coworkers with correct information. We can have very bad consequences for our clients if we're not understanding each other in our place of business. And it also affects many other things, which I will go through in this presentation. So we've all have played the telephone game one time or another, hopefully, because it's a pretty fun game. When we were in elementary school, one child would start by saying something, and that something would be passed on between 3, 4, 10, 20 people, depending on how many people were playing. And by the time you get to the end of the line, what they said at the beginning was completely, absolutely 100% different than what they said at the beginning. It's because there is misinterpretation of what people say. Now, in this particular case, it's probably because they have to whisper in the ear, and you can only say it once, but it's a good example of what miscommunication is. Miscommunication is defined as to communicate mistakenly, unclearly, or inadequately. When we miscommunicate, we leave out important details. Our communication technique might be different than another person's technique, so they might take it more differently than what we implied it to be. We're trying to think of a response as we're talking to someone. I've come across it so many times where my manager is talking to me and I'm already trying to think of a response to him so that I don't get in trouble or that I am correct in the matter or just because I want to sound intelligent to him. But at the end, I'm playing myself a disfavor because I'm not listening to him. I'm not understanding exactly what he's saying. Yes, I hear bits and pieces, but at the end of the day, that's not going to help me. It goes without saying. We've all thought, well, I said it, or at least I thought I said it, or, well, it was just what I implied. Everyone knows what it actually means. No, we have to be able to clearly communicate with one another and actually say what we mean. Our behavior also is a big key sign. We can't just behave one way and think that it's expressing what we want. We have to verbally say it. Our behavior is not always as expressive as we think it is. We often say less than we think we have, because normally in our minds, we've already said it to ourselves 100 times. So when it comes out, perhaps we're saying less than what we've actually want to come out. Another problem is that when we speak with someone in the workplace that we know, it's more easier to miscommunicate because we think they get it, but they may not. We often find ourselves thinking, well, wasn't it obvious? No, I didn't say but I implied it. We think we have said a lot more than we actually said, and there's actually a definition for this that psychologists have named. It's signal amplification bias. It's a big phrase, but what it means is, nope, you didn't say it, so they didn't get it. Being closer to our coworkers can actually make it easier to miscommunicate. I've had instances where I miscommunicate with my boss because I thought he knew what I meant, or I thought he was involved in the situation that I was talking about. Negative effects of miscommunication. There's a lot of things can happen when someone misunderstands someone. Miscommunication can cause problems. According to the R&D study, we are seeing more diverse workplaces with employees of both sexes, various cultures, and varying ages, which only adds to the negative effects of miscommunication. We don't understand that they perhaps don't understand what our slang is, or we talk to them in a way that isn't known in their culture, or the word isn't familiar to them. Negative effects, it can have organizational breakdown. When you have one department miscommunicating to another department, what good is that going to do? If there's no organization in there, then nothing can get done effectively. Employee conflict, we all know, well, he said, she said, why didn't he tell you what I said? It causes employee conflicts. It also creates a poor work environment. Who wants to work with someone they can't get along with, or someone they can't understand, or they're constantly having some kind of miscommunication where they are not being understood? It also can cause low morale. If you think about it, someone that's never understood can certainly bring down their self-confidence. Only working hard enough to keep from being fired. I thought that was a cute saying. Communicating better. It's possible. There's many solutions to communicating better, and there's tips out there that can help you communicate better. Simple and easy tips to better your communication with others. Effective communication is complex and practice is needed to master it. We have to remember this when they say it's just a simple tip. But some of these tips are avoiding cumbersome language, consider your audience when you're speaking, who are you speaking to, and consider your terminologies and consider your terminology when speaking with someone. Avoid idioms and cliches. Maybe they don't understand what that means. Consider context when listening. When you're talking to someone, consider their body language, their behavior, not just what their words are saying. Try to read into the emotions behind it. Provide clarification if they need it. Don't be, I already said it, don't need to say it again attitude. Provide clarification. Practice active listening. Pay attention to nonverbal cues like their body language. Be clear and concise, not vague. It's important to say what you're thinking and not being vague and saying something that's less than what you're actually thinking. I have something that's better than just plain tips. I have something that's a little bit more concrete that'll help you change your behavior in general. Stephen Covey is a known author that has written 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. These 7 habits, if implemented in your life, will create a more positive and effective life for you. Although I would love to go over all 7 habits, I'm just going to focus on habit 5 today because it is what pertains mostly to communication. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. You'll never eliminate miscommunication altogether, and definitely not by just a few tips. But if you implement serious change like I stated, with different thinking and practice, it can be drastically reduced. Most people seek to be understood first, wanting to get their point across. You want to reply without listening completely. I've done this in my position with my manager where I'm not really listening to him because I'm thinking in my head, how am I going to reply to this? How am I going to answer his question? What can I say to him? How will I explain this to him? It just starts me on a path of, oops, what did he just say for the last 30 seconds? But I can change that, and so can you. One of the things that Stephen Covey says in his Habit 5 is he explains emphatic listening. Emphatic listening involves it is about understanding what message the other person is trying to convey. It's the only true form of listening. There's 4 key elements to emphatic listening. Mimic the content, rephrase the content, reflect on feelings, or both rephrase and reflect. When you rephrase something, you are taking what the person said to you and saying it back in their own words. It shows them that you are listening. If you rephrase the content, I'm sorry, that's mimicking. If you say exactly what they say, that's mimicking the content. But when you rephrase it, you say it in your own words, then that also shows them that you're listening. Now, if you do both of it, first mimic and then rephrase, you're able to not only show them that you understand what they said, but that you understand in your own way, or your own words, I'm sorry. It's important for a person to feel that you're listening. It makes for a better communication. Now this is the key. You have to practice. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to emphatically listen, and then just start doing it. You have to practice. So here's what I'm going to challenge to you. You're going to, in the next 10 people that you talk to, you're going to reflect back on how you listened to them, how you reacted to them. Was I listening? Was I thinking in my mind, how am I going to reply to this? Or was I actually just only listening to what they were saying? Where do I need improvement? How can I make this better? And maybe perhaps I was responding too quickly, or I wasn't conveying that I was understanding them. You'll have to really practice on emphatic listening. It's definitely a great character trait that can be implemented into your life in work or in any other place. And maybe you can't do it all at once. Maybe you need to try mastering one level at a time. Try mimicking content the first 5 times. Then you understand and you're starting to do better, rephrase the content. And then after you feel like you've comfortably taken on that, then go ahead and put the two together. I think that miscommunication in the workplace can be definitely improved by emphatic listening. I want to thank you all for coming out today and listening to my presentation on miscommunication in the workplace. I believe if you take the advice that I was given today, you'll be able to make a better and comfortable work environment and one more proactive. Here are the references for this presentation.